What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. Absolutely epic day for Lucid. So two good pieces of news did come out for Lucid and one for the broader economy as well. So I'm going to give you a good Coles notes of everything that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. With that, let's get right to it. So looking at this intraday chart, it is all over the place, but still very much positive. Currently up 6%, give or take. So I think generally speaking, Lucid was at a very substantial discount for quite some time. So I think that is also going into and factoring into the positive news for Lucid. And that positive news is this. So they did announce their Q4 delivery and production numbers, and also the date of their Q4 earnings and 2022 annual, which is going to be, as you can see, February 22nd. So definitely a very exciting time. There's going to be a hell of a lot of good things being said in that actual conference call. But once again, going over here, the grand total for the year, 7,180. And keep in mind, it was supposed to be between a 6 to 7 target. So they did exceed their 2022 targets. Very, very positive for Lucid. And I don't think there's that many EVs that did actually hit their targets. Even though technically Lucid did initially drop it from 20 down to 12 to 14 down to 6 to 7, still it did beat their target. So I think this is a very good thing for Lucid. And as far as the breakdown in Q4, they did 3,493 vehicles. That is a little bit lower than that 3,600 target because based on the Q3 earnings, they were able to do roughly about 300 a week. So if you do the basic math, they could have done 3,600. So it is a little bit lower there, but I think that's excusable. As far as the number of delivered, as you can see, 4,369 in the grand total of 2022 versus the 1,932 just done in the fourth quarter. So they'll definitely have to bring that up in the Q4 earnings, that there's almost about 3,000 vehicles as far as a lag. So they'll definitely have to bring that up in the Q4 earnings. But regardless, they did hit their targets. Very, very positive for Lucid. In addition to that, though, there's this. So Lucid beats lawsuit claiming it's defaulted SPAC investors about production work, or outlook, I should say. So this in among itself should cause Lucid to go up well more than even what it is at around the 6% range. Because keep in mind, back in, looks like here, December the 6th, 2021, for those of you that were still investing in Lucid at that stage in the game, it went down quite a lot. And as you can see based on the chart, December the 6th, I believe it went down right here. So you can see, unfortunately, I'll you can't really see a little bit, but it was down roughly about 15%, 13 to 15% that day. Extreme volatility, 103.93 million. So even that day stood out massively. So in general, though, the fact that this lawsuit is now being taken off the table, in theory, you would assume that Lucid would go up the equivalent kind of amount. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So like I said, two very good pieces of news, one of which is the actual Q4 numbers. The second one is this, like I mentioned, about the lawsuit, Lucid winning that lawsuit potentially. And like I said, anything in regards to the SEC is not good. And the SEC was really targeting Lucid in this case because I think the whole SPAC rollout wasn't necessarily everyone's favorite, and potentially there was some things that was rolled underneath the table. So this is exactly what did prompt that lawsuit. But the fact that this is getting wiped off the table is very, very good news for Lucid. So I think right now going forward, it could be seen as a fresh start. And especially 2022 had its hiccups and issues. So I think right now it's good that 2022 is done. 2023 is going to be a brand new year for Lucid and its investors. In addition to that, I think there is a lot more optimism coming out from institutions, and even looks like right here, Goldman Sachs is no longer predicting a recession for the Eurozone. And similar kind of articles have been coming out that there isn't going to be a severe recession as what a lot of people did predict. Next step is going to be just a lot of institutions that are just saying now most likely no recession. So I think right now we are moving in the right direction because of a lot of positive economic data, as I've been saying. More specifically in regards to economic data, CPI did come out today. So the month over month was in fact negative, so negative 0.1%. The forecast was flat. And if you do look at the true data, which I always like to do, it does show that the energy component was down negative 4.5%, insinuating the other basket items did go up equivalent amount. So let me know your thoughts on that. This is why, looking on the intraday chart, there was a lot of volatility. The market was very much down because people saw this data, really interpreted it, and kind of realized that it's not as good as a lot of people would be assuming. But like I said, these two pieces of news, more specific to Lucid, is far outweighing the CPI issues. So let me know your thoughts on that. On the actual chart though, I'll just give you a good breakdown of what is happening right now. It is actually outside the Bollinger Band. Stochastic, still you do see that big deviation, so black line above the red showing a bullish sentiment, which of course you can tell based on even just the 4 green candles per se. Momentum number retail investors are getting in, so very much optimistic and positive day for that. And RSI is also at 57, so fairly neutral. Technicals are looking fairly good, as is, like I said, these two pieces of news. So hopefully this should be enough to carry Lucid into maybe the following week potentially. And I'm going to do a very in-depth video as far as shorts, because shorts oddly enough are increasing their position. Very much doubtful still on Lucid. So despite the kind of manipulation behind the scenes on Lucid, it's doing very, very good for the week. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.